Greetings and salutations. Thank you for lending an ear to the voice of the times this Tuesday, November 2, 2021. For today's editorial, the submarine deal that almost torpedoed an alliance. U.S. President Joe Biden went to great lengths last weekend, making amends to his French counterpart Emmanuel Macron, who felt he had been stabbed in the back after Australia scuttled a $66 billion contract to build diesel submarines from France in favor of a deal with the U.S. for nuclear-powered subs. Meeting Macron on the sidelines of the G20 Leaders Summit in Rome, Biden admitted that announcing the US-Australia submarine contract was clumsy and not done with a lot of grace. But the American leader also tried to deflect some of the blame, saying that he thought Australia had already informed France that it was dropping the contract. To make up for the awkward episode, Biden pledged, among other things, to boost US support for French counter-terrorist operations in Africa's Sahel region and launch clean energy ventures by the end of the year. Biden also praised France as an extremely valued partner and a power in itself, to which Macron reciprocated. Trust is like love. Declarations are good, but proof is better. The glowing reassurance of friendship did not sit well with Australian Premier Scott Morrison, who happened to be at the same summit and felt he was left holding the bag. Morrison maintained that the US had been constantly briefed on the status of the conversations and discussions with the French government, belying Biden's pronouncement. He also insisted that Australia made the right decision in clinching the submarine deal with the US. Observers see in the fracas dangerous undercurrents that could erode the foundations of Franco-American relations. After Brexit, France has been looking further inward, deepening its commitment to the European Union, which wants to project a worldview that is independent from that of the US. The US, meanwhile, wants Australia to take a more robust role as a military partner in the Asia-Pacific sphere. France's relations with Australia and Britain are expected to fray further after being torpedoed by the submarine deal spat. It's amusing how global powers can argue like kids playing a game of marbles, but the levity fades when we consider that the security and stability of an entire region is at stake. Submarine deployment is a key component in the game plan of the newly minted Australia, United Kingdom, US or AUKUS alliance in the Indo-Pacific, a merging of the regions of the Indian and West Pacific Oceans off the coast of Southeast Asia. AUKUS was conceived as the West's counterweight to China's growing expansionism in Asia and beyond. The creation of the alliance was greeted with wariness by some nations in the region, notably Indonesia and Malaysia, who see a looming Cold War right in their midst. The Philippines, on the other hand, has taken a more pragmatic line and sees AUKUS as an effective way to keep the balance of power in the region. Perhaps the support of the US, Britain, and Australia for the arbitral ruling favoring the Philippines in its case against China's territorial claims in the South China Sea also influenced its decision to welcome the alliance. Reliance on AUKUS, however, must not be an excuse for the Philippines to stop improving its own defense capability. We cannot let our guard down, as tensions continue to rise in the South China Sea over Chinese expansionism and the continued militarization of islets China claims for its own. The ambivalence over the alliance carries over to ASEAN, which limits its concern to the possible violation of the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. The AUKUS partners continue to woo the regional bloc, vowing to respect its centrality. China, meanwhile, which has denounced AUKUS for seriously undermining regional peace and intensifying the arms race, may be pushing back more forcefully. The US military has reported that Beijing has tested a hypersonic missile that could orbit the Earth before gliding down to its target. We won't be surprised if AUKUS deploys more nuclear submarines, which are more difficult to detect and have a bigger arms payload, in the Indo-Pacific in response. And before we know it, the arms race is on. And that's editorial for Tuesday, November 2, 2021. For more news and information, get a copy of the Manila Times on print, subscribe to our digital edition, or log on to www.manilatimes.net. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and listen to the Voice of the Times.